Webster Schroeder girls basketball team enjoyed a turnaround season in which the Lady Warriors doubled their wins from a year ago. The success on the hardwood during the winter months started last summer off the court.
We did a lot of work in the off-season, spending time with the captains, going to Starbucks, working through leadership books, things like that, and our kids were totally bought in the off-season, which in the spring we only had, I think, 3 kids at an open gym, and then this fall we were getting 25, 30 kids at every open gym, so the buy-in has really improved. So we thought that the wins would come based on the buy-in of the kids, and we've seen the payoff.
That was super helpful for me because something that was huge that I wanted to improve on coming into my junior year was my mind. I wanted to master the mind. That's what we called it. And I think all of us on the team have a lot of physical abilities for basketball. We have a lot of talent. But the thing that kills us the most sometimes is what we're thinking about and overthinking, underthinking, and getting upset with ourselves, getting upset with our teammates. Like those kind of things were the make or break when we were going into sectionals last year. And that's why we didn't get too far. And we wanted to work on those things because we knew at the end of the day it would come down to who has better control of their mind. And like let's say you're in a game and it's a close game, and yeah, some of them haven't come out our way, but then there's some that hopefully in the future, if you're in that type of situation, if you can stay focused and you can stay mentally strong more than the other team, that can do a lot more for you than I think physically. And that's what we noticed, and that's what we focused on for a long time going into this season.
It was actually a really good experience. We've never really had a coach around this program that's focused so much on mental rather than basketball, so it's been really exciting to focus on that, and I think that's what has kept us in games a lot this year because you can only do so much with talent basketball-wise, but with mental, it really keeps you in things.
The team read books like Raise Your Game by Alan Stein Jr. and applied understandings from those pieces of literature to their efforts on the court.
That's a big part of our growth that we wanted to achieve because sports are really a mental game. The physical part is important, but the mental part is 90% of the game because if you're not in it, you're gonna lose. So we did a lot of work. We read chapters out of mindset books. That's just one of our biggest keys. That's usually what we talk about before the game.
It really is the mental piece. Some of our leadership, they've really embraced keeping their cool and keeping everybody feeling positive. For example, in the first game of the year, we were down 22-4. Came back and took the lead in the fourth quarter, whereas last year we would have probably held our heads down and felt sorry for ourselves. This year we just stuck at it, and it's really been the biggest difference. I mean, the skills are going to progress the way they progress with all kids because they put the work in.
We started it in the summer with the captains, but then we expanded it to our whole team because we thought it would be an important lesson for everybody. It's about working together. We chose some focus points our team goals: accountability, persistence, perseverance, optimism.
Mike Grosta also spent time breaking down film to help his players identify a good shot.
So one of the things that one of my assistants, Josh, and I did over the summer was we actually used Huddle, which is a great tool for us, and we studied analytics all summer. So we actually told the kids over the summer, which was not popular necessarily at first with some kids, they have shots that they're allowed to take and shots that they're not allowed to take because we ran all the numbers and we looked at what makes the most sense. So that's been huge with us to be able to keep games close or come back, is that we take the most efficient shots that we can all the time, and our kids bought in right away. They didn't hesitate. We have very, very few bad shots that we say aren't shots they should take. So their buy-in to that has helped us make that leap.
I think everyone had a different feeling about it when we started talking about it, but for me, a lot of the stats that I look at for myself, turnovers-wise, being the point guard and then assists, they're very cut to the chase. So last year I wasn't a huge shooter. I definitely took shots and stuff like that, but it was more things you can look at stats for that stuff. So personally, it didn't affect me as much as it just made me want to work harder and more focused during the game, so I limit my turnovers. Shooting-wise, it definitely was a huge impact, though. A lot of us took shots off the dribble, and that was not a huge stat that helped us. We were better off a pass, and it was a lot to adjust to because we would start practicing, and we don't want to overthink all the stats, but at times we were is this the best shot we could be taking? So it was a big adjustments for all of us to make, but we've definitely worked on it, and we take our best shots, and we kind of know which shots are our best shots now.
That we all know that we have different roles on our teams. So like I personally can like drive, but I've also been working on my 3-point shot to expand my game. But I think like each of us having a different role really helps us so that we know our shot selection and we give ourselves the best opportunities to score.
We decided over the summer that we would only shoot layups and 3-point shooters, which and I am not one of those really. I shoot mid-range a lot, so I was actually the only one granted permission to shoot mid-range. So it's really changed like the perspective on our team.
6-win team a year ago, Schroeder won 5 straight in January.
During that streak especially, but in general this whole season, we have learned a lot. Last year was the first year playing with a bunch of new girls. Anya, Caitlin, and I were the 3 returning last year, and everything was new. So it was a huge adjustment for all of us to start learning each other at the same time trying to figure out what's best for us personally in the game of basketball. And we couldn't like blend more last year. And then this year we started to realize not only do we know how we play, but we know how our teammates play. So we can find like where does Anya fit best or where does Jules. Obviously like we're figuring out like who does the best at what spot, even like left or right side of the floor. And now that we're knowing what our aspects of the game are, and now knowing like on top of that, knowing our teammates, we're just blending and we're forming, and it's coming together in a way. And during that win streak, we just felt so connected as a team on the court, off the court. And I think knowing your teammates' specialties for the game helps everything because, you know, obviously you can't do everything on your own.
It was definitely a high. We're like on a roller coaster. Basketball has a lot of ups and downs, and you can definitely feel us riding those ups. And it was just so fun to be with the team. The energy we have together and the chemistry is just so fun, especially when you're winning. It makes it a lot more fun and easy.
Prior to that streak, they traveled to play Gates Chili, then number 16 in the state. The Spartans built an 18-point lead late in the third quarter. Schroeder rallied to cut the deficit to 7 before eventually losing the game. Northrop hit 4 3-pointers to help the Lady Warriors come back.
Sometimes you just have to know what that right shot is, not in general. It's just more like right now, if I took this shot off the dribble, will it help this team? And that fourth quarter, I kind of felt like it needed to happen. And then once 1 or 2 of them kept falling, I was like, you know what, maybe tonight I'm on for the off the dribble shot. And that's more of like quick adjustments that all of us have to make. If you're noticing you're doing something better, obviously then you're doing something not as good, you're going to keep doing the thing that's going better. So sometimes you have to switch it up.
I mean, we've tried to look at just pieces instead of the big picture. So the way we coach, the way that the kids play, we try to just focus on one play. I know it's a little bit cliche, but it really does work for us. And leaders like Anya and Lil and Brew who just kind of preach that message to the group all the time, whereas the younger kids can start to feel a little down and they say, no, this is what we have to do. So really, it feels good to come back against a team like that. And, you know, we didn't get the W, but I think we all talked and we think that team was better that day than us. And for us to come back like we did, it was nice to see, although it wasn't a victory.
They also fell to Penfield in mid-February in a game where the Lady Warriors pulled close to the perennial contenders late in the fourth quarter.
Compared to last year and the year before that and all the years before that, that has been a game where everyone kind of looks past it. Similar to the games that are coming up in the future, a lot of people just brush it over and you know the winner before even going into the game. So especially for Caitlin and Anya and I, we have been so determined. They're just they're that team that you want to get that revenge on. And even though we didn't get that game, it felt really good to know that we at least made some sort of improvement, that we're not blown out of the game in the first quarter, you know, and that's how that goes. And I think the fact that we were rallying with them the whole entire game, it made us feel more confident, it made us play more confident, and I think it also did something to Penfield in the way that they played less confident. You know, like if you're in that type of game and you see a team that you shouldn't be in with, like you should be going right by them, is what people say, and you're not, that can't make you feel very good. And that was it felt good, but we wanted that win. That's the thing. So, you know, we still have more improvement to do because until we're ending up on top with every team, we're not done. So
It was definitely a big accomplishment for the team, and it was just a sense of pride because we've never played Penfield that close, and every single day we go to practice trying to beat Penfield, trying to beat Kearney. Those are our teams that we just look forward to beating, and to have them within 4 points is like you could just feel the energy, you could feel it within your grasp. It was just a big sense of pride.
Caitlin Brewer is the lone senior on the team.
It's actually really nice because I can always help them with experience and stuff, not just in basketball and school. So it's really nice, and also they call me mom here, so gotta take care of them.
Schroeder's season ended with a loss to reigning sectional champ Bishop Kearney in the AA quarterfinals. The experience has Grasta's squad ready for more next season.
I think I'm the youngest girls basketball coach in Monroe County as well, and we've been a young team. So for me, I'm kind of just going along the ride with them. So for me, I'm just enjoying it. I'm just trying to look myself in the mirror every day and say I did the best that I could for the kids, and make it a fun experience as well as fulfilling, because there's that balance. You know, if it's just fun all the time, I don't think we'll reach our potential. But for me, it is certainly a roller coaster, but that's what makes it worth it. As my AD says, no rain, no rainbow. So we always, there's going to be ups and downs, but we enjoy them both.
On rebound, so sometimes we get caught here.
From Webster Schroeder High School, this is Paul Gotham with the High School Sports Beat, brought to you by Alfred State College.
They're baby birding. We got to work as hard as they will, and they work their butts off. Here we go. Warriors on three. 1, 2, 3. Warriors!